What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of the Jericho Report. It is Saturday, September the 28th, 2013. Going to give you all the madness, and what a week of madness it has been. The first link below will take you over to the Blogspot. That will give you all the links I'm about to give you. I have to do it that way because there's just not enough room in the YouTube description area to put all this madness. Let's see here. Let's start off with the gun trade treaty. My friend down in Australia sent me this. U.S. signs Australian treaty to control small firearms. This is September 26th. All part of the UN deal, I'm sure. Meanwhile, shout out to Canada. UN Arms Trade Treaty. Canada refuses to join 90 nations in signing. Right on. Right on. Go Canada. From the National Journal, Senator says politics have reached civil war levels. Interesting. Interesting times we're living in. Meanwhile, NSA official sidesteps queries on cell phone locations. September 26th, whatever that means, more the same. From BBC News, we got Navy Yard shooting SWAT team awaits answers. We need some answers as why we were told to stand down. Put a link to this. Meanwhile, Twitter introduces a new alert system for emergencies and disasters. Apparently, Twitter is teaming up with the government agencies to be able to send you alerts in times of emergency and disaster. This is from Reuters. I got one here. Governor of, New York setting up texting zones along highways so people can pull over and text. Okay. Let's see here. Fukushima News. Yale professor. Fukushima Unit 4. Yada yada. All of humanity will be threatened for thousands of years if not able to keep cool. This is from E&E News. Sadly, I don't think most people even care about stuff like that because you got this from the Los Angeles Times. Fights break out at Apple iStore in Pasadena over iPhone release. It's like watching people trample each other at Christmas time, you know. Do you think any of these people will care about Fukushima? Nope, not as long as they got their new iPhone. Put a link to it. One more in the general bin. People are always asking me for some good news. Here's a really cool story. Family hosts 200 homeless people for dinner after daughter's wedding gets called off. There you go. There's some good news for you. Read that story. That's awesome. Awesome stuff. Over to financial news. Be advised. Banking holiday in Panama. Announced. This came out September 26th. Put a link to it. Not sure what all that entails. Feds offer broke Detroit $100 million to fight blight. Okay, that from the AP. Day before this comes out from CNBC, Detroit spent billions extra from pensions. Where did all the money go? I wonder. Put a link to that. IRS watchdog, $67 million missing from Obamacare slush fund. Yay, Obamacare. From the Washington Times, Lois Lerner, IRS official Tea Party scandal, forced out for neglect of duties. This came out Monday, September 23rd. Put a link to this. AP dead link here, disregard that. Next link will be Obama slams GOP for trying to blackmail him over Obamacare. I think the dead link was actually the thing there. Some sort of agreement, some sort of Nazi Piclosi come out and said, no, we're not going to defund Obamacare. Should be an interesting week to come. So I'll put a link to this ongoing debacle. Speaking of Obamacare, for people who are new to my channel or people who are new to Obamacare, don't know this, we're talking about this over on F-Town Show tonight. This from the Examiner.com, August 15, 2013. Be advised, Obamacare provision will allow forced home inspections by government agents. I'll put another one. If you're a Muslim, you apparently don't have to worry about Obamacare. Now, this is from 2010, March 26, 2010, from the Examiner. If you're Muslim, you can opt out of Obamacare health care reform laws with no penalties. I don't know, I'll put a link to it. It's an old story. Just be advised since we're talking about Obamacare. A couple more here. Justice Department spent $5 million on drones. This came out September 26th from the AP. The Nazi Piglosi says the cupboard is bare. There's no more money, but we got money for drones. $5 million on drones, and these are the small drones. This has nothing to do with the Homeland Security drones. Speaking of drones and the cupboard being bare, we're out of money. This come out, Air Force new F-16 drone makes debut in air. How many billions of dollars did this thing cost? Oh, it doesn't matter because there's plenty of money for the police state and there's plenty of money for the industrial military complex, make no mistake. So check this out from the Washington Times. Air Force new F-16 drone. F-16 drone. Think about that. Over to New World Order Police State News. From Reuters, we got this. September 24 at UN, Brazil's Rousseff blasts U.S. spying as breach of law. Apparently somebody from Brazil doesn't like the fact that the NSA was spying on the UN members. She doesn't like that her email was being looked at. Oh, see, See, it's okay we do it to the little slaves around the planet, but, you know, the politicians, it happens to them, they're all upset. How dare you look at my email? I'll put a link to this. Interesting. Let's see here. From Puerto Rico, I don't know this website. Governmentslaves.info, Puerto Rico, something. FEMA Region 3 body bags and coffins, September 26, 2013. Take it with a grain of salt. I don't know. I just want to throw it out there. From Fox News, we got hidden camera catches culprit taking man's Second Amendment sign. Guess who the culprit was? Apparently there's a police officer in his community who doesn't like the Second Amendment. Keeps jacking his sign, kicking it down. I'll put a link to it. From the Blaze, cops accused of forcing woman to delete video of husband's arrest. Yada, 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 more of the same. Put a link to this. September 25. From the Liberty Center, for their own protection, disturbing story here. For their own protection, children in long-term solitary confinement. I'll put a link to it. Outrage. This from InfoWars. Outrage forces mayor to kill plan to fly Chinese flag at City Hall. Chinese flag? Put a link to the article. From the Los Angeles Times. Did gun control moms nag Starbucks into policy change? Question mark. I don't care. Starbucks can still get lost. Just my opinion. From the Blaze. All charges dropped against dad who was arrested after speaking out against Common Core at public meeting. Right on. He should have never been arrested in the first place. Of course, that's what happens when you speak out against the agenda. Bizarre story here. This is older. This is July 29, 2013. But I must have missed this one because I don't remember it. Child ID kit event happening today. Of course, July 29. Tucson, local news. Arizona Chip Child Identification Program. Sponsored by who else? The Freemasons. Got the square and cross and everything there. Just saying. Spooky article. Put a link to it. Over to World War III news. Apparently, the big news is Obama had a talk with Iranian president. Iran then comes out and says that they can't confirm this, whatever. Put a link to this article. From Ynet, meanwhile, Assad threatens to blind Israel, says they can blind Israel in seconds. More tough talk. We've heard enough of this. Suicide bomber kills 81 at church in Pakistan. This on the 23rd of September. Put a link to that. Yemeni violence, twin attacks on army kill 40. Put a link to this from the BBC. North Korean Coast Guard opens fire on Russian vessel, says report. This is on 9/21. Syria chemical arms scrutinized by Watchdog. The data scrutinized by Watchdog. We have not heard the last of this Syria situation. Put a link to this from Bloomberg. Russian war games on Baltic border spark security fears. This on September 20. Let's see. Muslim Brotherhood moves media office to London on September 24. A couple more here. U.S. Army looking for contractors for African operations. Put a link to it, September 28. Fox News Politics. Theft of U.S. weapons in Libya involved hundreds of guns, sources say. This is the 25th of September this come out. One more from RT. U.S. Air Force. Did you know about this? Old story here, but check it out. U.S. Air Force once dropped live hydrogen bomb on North Carolina, says report. Of course, this happened way back in the day, but put a link to it. Kind of interesting. Over to Earth changes in 2012 news. Interesting week. Devastating quake kills more than 300 in Pakistan and creates new island. Created a new island. It changed the surface of the Earth, this earthquake. I'll put a link to this from RT. I got another link to back that up and an update on that island. Pakistan quake island off Gadar emits flammable gas. This is from the BBC Asia. Interesting things going on with the planet. Meanwhile, earthquake swarm rocks Yellowstone. This is a few days back. This is September 22nd when this was posted. There's been some quakes around Yellowstone. Apparently, somebody's making a prediction of a 9.7 earthquake on the West Coast on October 3rd. Take it with a grain of salt. I'll put a link to it. Just be advised. Interestingly enough, the Oregon Great Shakeout is to take place in October. Let's see, mid-October, where they are going to be doing the shakeout or earthquake drill. Is going to be doing a drill for a 9+ mag earthquake. Be advised. I'll put a link to that. Comet ISON in sight. Amateur astronomers spot potential comet of the century. It's in sight. It's coming. Here it comes. Are you ready for it? I can't wait. Got a video from space.com. ISON breakup possible? Question mark. Possible threat. Put a link to it. It's going to take a minute to load though because it's a video. Let's see here. Meteor that streaked across Wyoming seen for 500 miles. This posted September 24th. All kinds of reports of fireballs this past week. Put a link to this. There was one in Texas. Meteor in the Texas sky Saturday evening. This Saturday the 21st. I probably should have caught this last week, but I didn't. I apologize. Put a link to this. But there's been, if you do a search for meteors in the past week, all over the place. All over the place. Probably the beginnings of ISON. Just my speculation. World won't cool without geoengineering, warns report. This came out September 25. What on earth is geoengineering? What can they possibly mean by that? In my opinion, they've been doing it for a long time. Look at your sky. Put a link to this. Catching up here. FEMA just bought 72-hour survival kits for every student in every elementary school across the United States. This from Before It's News, September 19. What on earth is that about? From Hawaii News Now. 30 large dolphins beached themselves in Brazil. September 23rd. Put a link to it. Over to strange and bizarre news. Got tons of it. Deadly brain amoeba, I guess that's how you say that, in tap water may be tied to Katrina. This from NBC on 17 September. Put a link to that. CBS DC, popular bathroom wipes blamed for sewer clogs. I'll put a link to it. Your daily dose here has a perfect Obama's pick for State Department security chief reportedly once shot himself in the foot. Reminds me of that video. Remember that time that guy shot himself in the leg? Ouch. Put a link to this. Dead criminal's family, keep in mind this is strange and bizarre news. Dead criminal's family whines that Dallas homeowner didn't warn home invader before shooting him. Are you freaking serious? You're mad because he didn't get a warning shot? You're in my house and I killed you and you're mad? Whatever. Meanwhile, Amish Mafia bending rules in centuries-old Amish lifestyle. Irish Mafia. I didn't know there was such a thing. I'm sorry, Amish Mafia. Now, did I say Irish? I meant Amish. Been up a long time. Man discovered floating... This is one way to do it, I guess. Man discovered floating on pot in the ocean. I had to build a raft, see? All right, put a link to that. Spiderwebs cover North Texas overnight. This September 25. What's up with that? I think there is a logical explanation when you read anything. I thought it was strange anyway. And 28 killed, hundreds injured by swarm of giant hornets in China. Check out the size of that bee. That is that's almost as big as this guy's hand. That's just creepy. I got one more from the Strange and Bizarre bin. Fusion, anyone? Not quite yet, but researchers show just how close we've come. Fusion. Put a link to it. That's all the news I got, guys. Check my favorites. I'll put a link to my favorites. Tons and tons. Probably the whole favorite section has been rewritten this week. I've just been favoriting videos left and right. Thank you to everybody who puts out content. It has been a crazy week. I do have a couple shout-outs. Let me get those up here. Shout out to InfoWars. They picked up one of my videos, DC Rampage, False Fire for Gun Control. Right on. And shout out to a new gun channel. You guys that are into guns. New gun channel. It's called Right to Bear. I'll put a link to it. Good stuff. Check out the intro video on that channel. Much more to come. And that's all I got, guys. If you like this report, please give it a thumbs up below or give it a thumbs down. If you think it's the worst of YouTube, it sucks. You never want to see it again. Please rate, though. Helps it move around YouTube. You can also follow me on Facebook, Google, Twitter, all that stuff. Google+, Twitter. I'll put all those links at the bottom always for new video alerts, live show alerts, breaking news alerts, things like that. I wanted to end this week's report with a quote from the Show Me Baby. He said this on one of his live shows this past week. We are doomed to repeat our history if we do not remember it. So true. So true. Guys, it's been a crazy week. Next week will probably be even more madness as the Obamacare thing and the shutdown and the debt ceiling debacle goes on. Thank you to everybody who's been supportive. We'll keep doing what we do until we can't do it anymore. But you guys take care, stay safe, have a good weekend, have a good week, and I will see you on the next one.